Okay, so I'll give the long story now to eat up some time. Also, I'm going to be chewing because it helps thin my blood, so it prevents clots.
Do you, that's doctor prescribed.
Yeah, well, that's what they're like, you on any blood thinners? I'm like, no, but I chew. They're like, oh, that could be why. And then they saw my artery was cut. Okay, so let me just start from this. Okay, so what happened was my line that I work on. So we work on like I work in the part that's almost completely automated. So I get like raw forgings, and then like robots pick up the forgings, put them on a conveyor, get picked up by another robot, put them in the turning cell to turn the outside and the inside, pre-stress, goes to another one. I pretty much don't have to touch the wheels, right? Well, the back of my line and the back of the line next to me are facing each other, and they were trying to take out the coolant pan, which holds the coolant and circulates it through their turning cells. They were trying to take that out so they could clean it. And the one dude hopped on a jitney, took my chip bin that collects all the metal chips, took that out. Well, when he took it out, he kicked the fucking the cover for the trench that goes through the floor to take all the coolant and stuff out. There was a cover on it. He kicked that off and it fell in. He didn't notice it, so when he drove in, it like sunk the one wheel into the trench. So they pulled that jitney out with another jitney, right? When they pulled that out and the one dude drove that to go take the other chip in out and away, I went to go step and grab the cover to pull that back out of the trench and put it back where it was supposed to be. So I went to step on the floor that was right next to it because it's a heavy grate and I needed to get some leverage. So I went to step there and my foot slipped into the trench. So I started to fall and I successfully caught myself with my right hand. So I didn't fall all the way in. But when I caught myself, it was on a piece of sheet metal that had a very sharp edge. And so like if this was my right hand, it cut from here down to here, but most of it was in here. And when it initially happened, my first thought was, wow, my hand is going to be messed up. I looked at it, and my body was in shock at this point. I saw a giant hole in my hand, and I poked the inside of my hand, and I was like, huh, yeah, that needs stitches. And I just grabbed it, right, because I wanted to stop the bleeding. And that dude, the other guy that was took the chip in, he hopped off and was like, oh, man, you okay? Do you need medical? And I'm like, yeah, probably. I'm probably going to need stitches. And he's like, oh, let me, and he started calling people. He grabbed some rags. We ended up wrapping 20 rags plus some gauze around, and it was still bleeding so much that it was like those weren't even there. Like, I was just dripping blood.
You should have done a tourniquet with someone's belt around your wrist.
Yeah. So when the ambulance got there, the medics put a tourniquet on me, and it was still bleeding even after that being wrapped and the tourniquet being on.
Yeah.
And everyone was freaking out, and it might have been because I was in shock, but I was like, boys, it's just a little bit of blood. Not a big deal. Mind you, I'm just gallons are like I'm from literally like it soaked through my shirt and through my pants and my underwear. I was just covered in blood, right? Everything was bloody. And I kept like apologizing. People are like, boys, I'm sorry. This is going to be a hell of a cleanup. Like, this sucks. And they're like, dude, don't worry about it. This isn't your fault. Like, they were getting a little upset because the ambulance was taking its sweet time. But I just didn't care. So I got in the ambulance, and come to find out, I was their first person that day. So that was cool. I got into the ER. Yeah, I got into the ER.
We're getting the dirty details of this story.
Yeah, I got into the ER, and they were, like, trying to get me bandaged up. I was like, oh, hey, can, somebody grab my phone real quick out of my bag so I can call my dad? And they're like, yeah. So I get my phone. Like, hey, Dad, just so you know, cut myself pretty good. And he's like, what happened? I was like, I just, I fell and, cut my hand open. He's like, well, how bad is it? I'm like, well, I'm at the ER right now. And he's like, I'll be there. And I was like, yeah, Hammett 32. And he was like, all right. And he, right before he got into the room, I was doing perfectly fine. And then all of a sudden, I started getting tunnel vision. Like, the darkness started to seep in on my periffs. and like I could only see like directly in front of me, and I was like, man, I don't feel very good. This is kind of weird. And then I started feeling like I was gonna vomit, and I was just like, oh, like, and I started getting this like vertigo going, and it was crazy. My dad got in and he's like, hey, how you feeling? I'm like, I've been doing pretty good, but now I'm like getting tunnel vision and I don't feel very good. It's real weird. And then all of a sudden the thing started going off. He was in there for maybe 40 seconds and the thing started going off. And I look over at it and my blood pressure was 70/20.
Oh,
and
my God.
yeah. And then all of a sudden my dad poked his head out of the room, said something. Then a bunch of people rushed in, rushed him out, and I got like they threw the bed upside down, so my head was below the rest of my body. And as soon as that happened, like the light rushed back in, and I was like, "Oh, boys, I feel great. Let's go for a jump. This is wonderful." But yeah, after that, like a half hour after that, they got me in surgery, and they had to stick a tube down my throat and whatnot, which I was out for anyways. When I woke back up, they had said I had severed an artery, and they're guessing at the most I lost 3 pints of blood. And your body has 12 pints, and if you lose, I think they said 40 or 50%, then you're gonna die. And I lost like 33%.
Wow.
So
And
yeah,
they didn't do a blood transfusion?
no, they didn't. Yeah, which is the weirdest thing.
That still blows my mind.
Yeah,
He'll grow all that blood back.
yeah, it's fine. That's hey, shout out to my heart, dude. Like my heart's like, don't worry about it, boys. I got this. Like,
But supposedly it went well. So,
yeah, it went like after that. I was so like I went from being in shock to being just completely hopped up on narcotics for the first like 48 hours, and so I was feeling great. Didn't hurt up until last night. And it
Well,
happened.
clearly it went well because, Bull, you're not dead. You're here with us. And you're here with us on a very special day.
10th,
What?
10th episode.
Yeah, Bull, let me get there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were leading.
We have a whole
have all his
thing
blood,
planned.
Hunter. You got to give him some slack.
No slack on the cast. But, yeah, as Bull said, we'll get there. But welcome to Bro Football Focus. I'm your moderator, Hunter. Jake's scampering in. We have Austin back from vacation this week. And our special guest.
Austin, after this.
Huh?
So how was your vacation?
Oh, it's pretty good.
Our special guest back from the dead, Bull. And since it is the 10th episode spectacular, we even have a special guest, Huffy.
What's up? I'm mainly here just to make sure he's all right and nothing goes haywire.
He's going to be in and out. What a special double guest nonetheless for episode 10. But yeah, we did it, fellas. We made it big time.
Yeah. I got the special cheap champagne for the 10th episode. And this is probably going to spill because it's been in my fridge door and it shakes around a lot. But I'm just going to give a quick PSA. When you open a bottle of champagne, you don't, like, so many people do it wrong. First thing, firmly grasp it. There's
Why-
nothing worse.
Why don't you have a saber?
Because high risk, low reward. What you
Yeah,
do, you don't pull, you twist.
No, you don't. You push. You're
You
teaching
twist-
people wrong.
You twist it. That breaks the seal.
This is the
And
worst kid.
slowly, you just take it, and all you're doing is twisting, and it just comes out by itself, and then right at the end, it just goes.
It's like you're.
Oh, there you go.
I thought I saw you push up.
Dude,
Just
you
your-
didn't even spill it. You have to shake it up and shoot it and then go.
That's for losers.
Well,
I'd be super sad. I'm not gonna lie.
And I have my Game of Thrones
Oh,
Oma Gang glass.
that looks really
Little
nice.
Cooperstown, New York.
Jake, if you're gonna do that,
Bull, I see you still have hospital schmutz on your elbow.
There's no,
Yeah, the inside of my arm. They stuck me like a pin cushion.
Yeah. That stuff's pretty hard to get off, too.
Oh, I'm okay, buddy. I appreciate it, though.
Well, I see you're rehydrating, trying to get more blood in you.
Hey, I will say, this is funny. So, my sister was not feeling good, I want to say Wednesday or Thursday. My dad, had heart attacks and a stroke. My dog has the cone on his head because he can't stop scratching. And now I have this. So we're just a torment right now.
Yeah, so far, I'm the only one in the family that has not been severely injured within the last 6 months.
Yeah, I would go to church if I were.
I'm waiting. I am by far the most aggressive driver in Denver, hands down. So
that's because you're a normal driver near.
Yeah.
That's a pretty smooth spin.
What you got there, H-Dog?
This is Season's Greetings. This is home Bare Bones Red from Mazza Vineyards. It's a special WICU 12 blend.
Love me some news wine.
Well, if we're going to start boozing, I'm going to have to go get something.
A glass of that.
I don't even like wine.
This 10th episode extravaganza is
Go get it. Go get it.
quite the action-packed start.
Yeah. So as a heads up, I had planned on researching everything Thursday or Friday, but something got. Yeah. So Huffy's gonna be my research guy.
I mean, at least you have a research team.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, and I also have some place that I can go because it's too loud in the house to actually do this. For those of you who don't know, I record when I'm on the podcast at Hunter's place. That's why you saw. Wait, they saw Huffy.
Giving away our location, Bull.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
And you're just destroying all the magic. They were never going to know we were recording in the same place.
So I have a
I did literally just walk behind you.
Citra Mellow IPA from Galveston Island Brewing Company.
Wow.
That's a cool can.
Yeah.
But all right, I guess
It's,
welcome everybody. 10th episode. It's kind of wild. We've been doing this for 10 weeks.
Smells like wine.
Consistently for the most part, except for a little hop, skip, and a jump there at the end. We are moving filming time now to a Saturday morning, which is much better than when we were shooting, which was past midnight on a Wednesday, which is just not ideal for work at 10.
And
But,
after some research and development, don't know why we ever picked that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, Saturday morning cartoons, pretty fire. Late night. What goes on late at night there on the tube?
Probably George Lopez
At night.
or Martin.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mad TV.
Do they still have the Girls Gone Wild things at 3 o'clock?
No.
Like, it's 2020.
Oh, that was good stuff back in the day.
Oh, that's so gross.
Yeah.
Ew.
All right, love me some news wine. So, without any further ado, I guess
is
we
wine
can
supposed
start.
to be cold?
I
No,
like wine cold.
not red wine.
But I
This
don't-
wine's very bitter.
Room temp.
but
Huffy, do you like it?
No, it's very bitter. It's not sweet at all.
that's why you got to get the mimosa, dude. That is the drink of a weekend morning.
Big fan of a mimosa.
Do you
All
want
Just-
Well, yeah, episode 10, I'm sure throughout this we just played like a Remember When video with like As We Go On, that song.
Yeah, we'll probably put that in the BFF clips
Oh,
to
yeah,
get some more traffic to the YouTube.
yeah.
Also,
We're all about traffic.
I'll tell you guys off camera. I don't want to give away trade secrets. But
Can you just cut it out?
sure, I'll cut it out. Yeah. But, all right,
Oh,
we can-
no. Put those puppies away.
I thought Roman wanted to see me with my shirt off.
Bull, you can't take your shirt off. You have an injury. Leave it on.
Oh, I can take it.
What?
I've done it before. It's not
Hunter,
hard.
you can't censor Bull on the podcast. That's part of the good thing about podcasts.
That is
That's
true.
his First Amendment right, dude.
I
Yeah,
can
dude.
censor whoever I want.
I'm a
Huh?
peacock.
Bull's legal team, and he says that's his First Amendment right.
He's on 1/3 my show, so he has no rights.
All right.
The other two want to see it. That rules it out, right?
I think he has the right.
Rule.
So that's 66.6 repeating against 33.3 repeating.
Speaking of 33s, Jake, do you want to start the 32?
Yeah. But all right, let's get to it. In Arizona, Cardinals and most other teams are set to start training camp on July 28th, with rookies and other select players being allowed to start a week earlier.
In Georgia, the Atlanta Falcons, Matt Ryan says they're just as good now as they were in 2012. The 2012 team was 13-3-0 and lost the NFC Championship game.
The Dirty Birds in Baltimore, Ravens ranked first for ESPN's 2020 roster rank.
Cool.
In Buffalo, when Ezekiel Elliott was asked about why Bills superstar quarterback Josh Allen had more rushing touchdowns than him in 2019, he responded, "Because Josh Allen is a beast."
Oh.
In Carolina, Matt Rule says that he may kneel alongside his players.
And down in Chicago, the Bears, a security camera video was recorded at Ha Clinton Dix's house. Mr. Clinton Dix was riding his scooter, just minding his own business, and he rolled up on some bears, and they scared each other.
I have a sausage lodged in my aorta.
Another AFC North team in Cincinnati, Joe Mixon took to Instagram to call out John Ross to race against Tyreek Hill to determine who is the league's fastest player.
That'd be cool.
That's pretty good.
That would be sweet.
In Cleveland, with Jadeveon Clowney rejecting Cleveland's contract offer, the Browns have been rumored to be looking into Everson Griffin or trying to trade for Yannick Ngakoue.
Whoa.
That is quite the name, I tell you what. In Dallas, and speaking of Jadeveon Clowney, he may close a contract with the Cowboys. Be quite the addition.
Over by
I
I like to name it Jadeveon. I might name my child Jadeveon.
That'd be cool. Over by Jake in Denver, Mile High Stadium, cornerback Bryce Callahan is fully recovered from a broken foot that cost him the entire 2019 season.
My pick for the NFC representatives for the Super Bowl this year, in Detroit, Matt Stafford disregarded the Players Association recommendations about not participating in practices with his teammates anyways. That's a weird way it was written, but yeah.
Well, I don't think the word participate is written in
Yeah,
there. That's okay.
made up.
No? Am I dummy?
Matt Stafford practice.
Let's just keep it rolling.
I was practicing. I'm a dummy.
The team that will probably stop Bull's hot take from coming true, Green Bay Packers legend Brett Favre stirred up some controversy by comparing Colin Kaepernick's sacrifice and heroics to that of Pat Tillman.
In Houston, running back Lamar Miller posted a video of him crushing some workouts after tearing his ACL last year.
I love crushing workout videos. But same division, a little bit north of them in Indianapolis, Darius Leonard got racially profiled at a Chipotle and got the manager fired, but maybe more on that later.
In Jacksonville, the Jaguars are ranked last for ESPN's 2020 roster rankings.
Kansas City. Former BFF certified Big Nasty Chris Jones remains in a stalemate over contract concerns. If the Chiefs can't strike a deal by July 15th, Jones will sign the franchise tag and become a free agent next year.
Hey, in LA, the Chargers, Joey Bosa, participated in Von Miller's online virtual pass rusher summit.
The other LA team, the Rams, no surprise here, but Aaron Donald was named the NFC West Player of the Decade.
Wow.
Over in Las Vegas, the Raiders have shots of their new stadium that were released, and let me tell you, they were sweet.
Down in Miami, Tua Tagovailoa says that TikTok is his favorite social media platform and that you don't know it, but you're on that thing for 5 hours.
That's also my dad's favorite social media platform, and he is on it for debatable days.
We should drop your dad's tag somewhere here to get him to follow us because it's quality content.
We should also.
It is content nonetheless. In Minnesota, CBS Sports named Eric Kendricks the second best linebacker in the NFL behind Bobby Wagner.
I don't know about that, but in New England, Patriots receiver Mohamed Sanu says he has a huge chip on his shoulder after not living up to expectations last year.
In New Orleans, Drew Brees is paying reparations by sponsoring a Black College Football Hall of Fame event with his wife, Brittany.
Nice.
I don't like how that was worded.
Yeah.
In New York, Daniel Jones apparently has his eyes set on entering the 21 Ceps bracket. The young quarterback has reportedly added 8 pounds of muscle, bulking up to 230.
Damn. That's pretty impressive. The New York Jets, Adam Gase said yesterday that Jamal Adams has got to figure out a way to get to a better place.
Okay. Philadelphia. 2 of the Eagles' spicy cheerleaders this year are frontline heroes. They're medical doctors.
Wow. Smart and talented and funny and brave.
Brave.
Very brave.
Hunter, that wine is terrible.
Yeah, no shit. It's warm and all wine is gross. It's spicy juice.
Oh,
Is it a really dry wine?
it's gross.
I don't like dry wine at all.
Kind of wine.
Oh, God. Okay. Give me 1 second here.
Go ahead, Huffy. Step in for the man.
Yeah, go. We're good. It's
Popcorn Huffy.
in Ginsburg, dude. Big Ben admitted to suffering from numerous addictions at a Christian conference last weekend. I've been addicted to pornography, which makes me not the best husband, father, or Christian I can be. Wow.
We're going to take that sound clip so it just looks like Bull said that.
In San Francisco, Ceps versus Nasty? Nick Bosa says that one of his things that he's most excited about is the opportunity to face Trent Silverback Williams on the practice field.
That could be cool.
Wow. In Seattle, rumors say that Pete Carroll could be replaced by 5 potential suitors for the Seattle Seahawks, including Brown defensive back coach Dwayne Walker, Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs, Chargers defensive coordinator Gus Bradley, recent defensive assistant for Dallas, and also worked with Pete Carroll throughout the years, Chris Richard, or most likely 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh.
He's bald.
That is
Down in Tampa, Mr. Brady continues to defy the NFL's rules and still hosting those unofficial Buccaneers practice sessions. Got to get the chemistry down.
From here on out, we have to be a Gronka Bay podcast. We have to stop the Tampa and start the Gronka Bay.
I mean, but hashtag, no excuses.
In Nashville, A.J. Brown, that's one of the best receivers in the league, is among leaders in yak per reception over the last decade.
1 year.
That's all you need.
In Washington, the Redskins proved that they are not racist by removing George Preston Marshall's name from all team material.
That's proof right there. Proof's in the pudding.
They're
They're like,
right.
hey guys, what else do you want from us?
So, Bull/Huffy as our special 10th episode guests. Also, it's just so everybody knows, brought Bull back for the 10th episode. Clearly, fan favorite guest. But what do you want to talk about?
What do I want to talk about?
Yes.
Let's see here. I do like that Ceps versus Nasty. I cannot wait to see any kind of film that comes out or any kind of stories that come out from Nick Bosa and Trent Williams going at it every single day. That'll be so sick. That's just two alpha gorillas fighting each other every day. They're gonna get so much better just playing against each other. It's unbelievable.
It's like when you and me used to go up against each other in practice bowl, and that one time.
Yeah.
Exactly like that.
Listen, I will say I do feel bad for Austin because he did get robbed of a TFL. Probably the best play of his career, and he got robbed of it. Didn't get any. I will say I also got robbed. Fairview, I had 12 solo tackles and didn't get a single kudo for it, and I was one kudo away from my preseason prediction.
We will buy a pack of kudos and mail you a couple for these episodes, Bull.
Yeah.
We should make Bro Football Focus kudos and give them to local high school kids.
Yeah.
We should give kudos to our guests and at the end of the year see who's the guest of the year.
Jake, a quick aside, in the Ceps, I don't think that's Keanu Neal.
Came up when I looked at him.
Keanu Neal is number 22, I believe. You have a number 37.
Yeah,
Well,
that's Keanu Neal. We'll get around to that.
It was
Just
late night. There was a mishap.
I will say, the new Larry Ogunjobi picture is scary.
Yeah, it's for
But,
Cardo.
all right, Austin, as the returning from vacation host, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I want to talk about HaHa Clinton Dix and his Bears escapades. Did you guys see the video?
Yeah.
No.
All right, so for you who have not seen, he was going down his driveway, which looks like a street at like a really nice mall or something, because he's got a bunch of exotic cars and bikes just laying around in like storefront glass for some reason. And he's just riding a scooter, and there's a fucking bear behind his SUV with like its little cub or something, and he sees it and just throws the scooter and runs the other way, and like it just gets out of the way.
Well, good thing he has NFL speed.
Jake, I just sent it to you on Twitter.
And it's pretty ironic because he plays for the Chicago Bears. So
Yeah, and he was.
I mean, maybe he was just a fan.
He wasn't bearing down. He was afraid of those bears.
yeah.
You know what they say? Brown bears play dead. Black bears get big. Grizzly bears get fucking dirt napped.
Well,
I would-
Bears get fucking
good advice,
eviscerated.
Pedro.
Looking at that video, I bet you he could have taken him.
And just so you know, I do want to have a disclaimer. I'm not a bear professional, so we
You
are not
sounded like
liable for any bear mishaps.
Yeah.
I'm expert.
I am.
I'm very glad you said that because that was great information.
I do have a story about a black bear. It was after my senior year of high school, the summer after that, Buddy, CMB, and I, and his father went up to Alaska to hunt black bears. I now have a black bear at my house hanging up. It was made out of a rug. Disappointing thing, I wanted to make it into a robe with the bear head on top of my head and its arms down my arms. I think that would have been sick, but we just didn't have the money for it.
That's awesome, Bull.
Yeah.
I wish you had a little more money. You should have had a GoFundMe or something.
I don't think it was.
Jake?
I don't think GoFundMe was around back then.
All right.
Jake, what do you think
And
about the video?
there was a baby with that bear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the bears look like they're just like
Bear.
chilling, having a good time.
Jake, as a bear expert, is it a bad thing to have a baby with the bear, or what's going
Here's
on?
I think it's a bad
I
thing.
would-
Mama gets real protective.
Here's the thing. I would rather see a bear foaming out of the mouth while also wearing like some type of weapon on its side than see a bear with a baby next to it.
When have you ever seen a bear foaming at the mouth with a weapon on its side?
Exactly. I would rather see that because to me that is still less dangerous than a bear with its baby.
What was that movie where Leonardo gets absolutely demolished by a bear?
I think that was
Correct.
Titanic.
I was wrong. Yeah.
No, not the sea bear, the land bear.
Oh,
Gun is terrifying.
Jake, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about this Raiders desert stadium. It's pretty sweet. These pictures that got released were of the interior prior.
I just think the padded seats are cool.
Relax, dog.
I'm very relaxed right now.
So if you
Hunter
go down
does-
past the Sweetest Ceps picks, they're there. So yeah, I mean, prior to this, the only thing you'd be able to see of the interior were these 3D renderings of it. But yeah, I mean, just like the outside, everything inside is black, and there are some bleacher seats, but most of them are actual chairs, and the chairs have, even the black plastic ones have like a pressed, stamped Raiders logo, and it looks fucking super sweet. And yeah, I mean, it's just awesome. And Las Vegas isn't that far away. It might be worth it to go to a game there just to, you know, be taken over by the dark side.
It looks
Do you think that stadium is better than Jerry World?
Yeah.
no way, dude.
The only thing that's
Also,
cool about Jerry World is the art installment that his wife put in and the big screen.
Do you think they're going to redo the Cowboy Stadium now because the Vegas Stadium looked better?
No.
I think so.
I don't know if you guys have seen much of the SoFi Stadium in LA since we're talking stadiums, but that thing looks incredible, but just completely opposite way. Like obviously like Raiders is like, oh, this is all black. It looks like super like cool and sleek, and obviously the SoFi Stadium does as well, but it's definitely much more LA, obviously, but like it's pretty awesome. They took into consideration, I watched a whole video with like the construction worker guys and like the design people, and they have this new sheet metal technology where it's like triangles that have holes through it, and the paint that's on it is like some sort of like, it's an opaque reflector, which is weird. So like it'll reflect like the pinks of a sunrise, and then like as the sun set, it'll reflect those colors. But then it's like the stadium will kind of change colors, and then when the sun goes down, all the interior light will shine through it. So it's like all sorts of crazy. It's open and closed. Like there's a big glass roof over it, but it's like not closed walls. Like it looks honestly like some sky-high future building.
Now, Bull, the sheet metal expert, do you agree with the reflective, opaque sheet metal stuff that Jake is talking about here? Or do you think?
Yeah, just don't look up, and you'll be fine.
All right.
I was going to say, I don't know if we should talk about that one much more. I don't want to give Bull any like PTSD flashbacks.
I'm good, dude.
All right. Well, then to round out the Hot 32, I was initially thinking about talking about the Jets, but Seattle kind of jumps out at me because, one, I feel like Pete Carroll's a good coach unless he's just getting too old and wants to retire. Why are they talking about replacing Pete Carroll? And two, why in the world would you be looking at Gus Bradley as a head coaching position? Because, like, that dude sucks at coaching.
And worse people have been hired, Hunter.
I know, but, like, if this guy has a proven track record of being very bad, why would you hire him as your head coach?
So with this list, it was the top 5, and it's in descending order. So the main homie they're looking at is 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh.
So that means Gus Bradley is their third choice?
This is all speculation. This is all just the analysts and the fat cats in their ivory towers.
First of all, bald coach, not on my radar. Second of all, Gus Bradley, not on my radar at all.
You're saying Robert Saleh wouldn't be on your radar?
I think not, because he's bald.
Yeah, I don't think for me either.
What's your issue with bald coaches, Hunter? Are they bad coaches in your mind?
I'll tell you my issue with bald coaches, Jake, and it all stems with Gus Bradley. When Gus Bradley was the coach on the Jaguars, it was him, defensive coordinator Todd Wash, and there's just Blake Bortles was there at the time. It was just perennial baldness, and I think it like permeated the locker room, and it just wasn't good for business.
Do you know like Brian Flores?
Yeah, what about Brian Flores? What about Sean McDermott?
Yeah.
What about who's that guy you saw on the airplane that one time?
Dan Quinn?
Yeah, Dan Quinn, isn't he bald?
Yeah, but that's different. Like, you can have one dude, but you can't have your whole coaching staff be just a bunch of chrome domes.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Here's the real question. When we're talking about bald coaches, do you think Brian Flores is going to be considered in 20 years one of the best coaches in the league?
No.
I do.
In 20 years?
Yeah. I think he's going to have built a dynasty in Miami.
But Tua Tagovailoa on TikTok 5 hours a day, Bull. You really think he is spending the time it takes to be a franchise quarterback?
You don't know what he's doing on TikTok, though.
No, what that says to me, if he's that obsessed with TikTok, well, here's the thing. If he's making TikToks and spending 5 hours on it, he's all about clout, and that's not going to get you far in the NFL.
It also shows me that he can easily get lost in the film and spend 5 hours
Yeah.
out. So if you put the cut up of the plays into TikTok form, maybe you can really break it down for him.
Yeah. What if he's already just watching football TikToks?
We going to college together?
The football TikToks, I would want to say, are a very slim category. He's probably watching some type of girls doing dances, or I don't know, maybe some.
He's going to college again.
Oh, Huffy, you are going to college again?
Yeah. I have a topic I would just like to address real quick. How do you guys feel about Chris Sims' recent quarterback list, where he put Cam Newton as the 10th best quarterback in the NFL?
What?
Ahead of Ryan Tannehill, Tom Brady, and Drew Brees.
I saw that list yesterday, and he had Josh Allen pretty darn high on that list, so I was pretty happy with it.
Josh Allen. I think 18 is low for Josh Allen.
First and foremost, I think Chris Sims is an idiot.
Oh, I'm okay with
Did they say in that article if before writing it he smoked salvia?
It does not say that, no.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a loose constructionist, so if it didn't say he didn't smoke salvia, I'm just going to assume he did.
I like Phil Sims more than I like Chris Sims, and I don't like Phil Sims.
I like Sims more better than both of those guys.
Hunter, they have Gardner Minshew 5 spots behind Joe Burrow.
Now, one thing I noticed with that list is Taysom Hill is ahead of Mitch Trubisky, and Taysom Hill plays like one snap at quarterback a game.
Yeah.
Mitch Trubisky is also like pretty bad at football.
Yeah, but he did start.
That's very similar to Josh Allen's.
I think I've said it before, but I just feel so bad for Allen Robinson. He went from Christian Hackenberg to Blake Bortles to Mitch Trubisky to Nick Foles. Like,
wow, Hunter, I never really heard it broken down like that before.
he's a good
he
puts up numbers. Like, he could probably be a top 5 receiver in the NFL if he had a good quarterback.
That reminds me of when DeAndre Hopkins had the worst quarterbacks of all time for like 5 years.
Like Matt Schaub action.
Tom Savage, like Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Is Tom Savage the one who had the seizure?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, like he got smacked up hard and started rolling.
Yeah,
Jake, where are you going?
I will say, since Jake's stepping out of the room for a second.
No, I'm good. Like, I'm back. I literally just had to grab blankets because I'm sitting in a $20 porch plastic chair.
Yeah, he's sitting in a $20 porch chair.
Okay, so
with tax, it was probably like 21. So I mean, flex, whatever.
What do you want, Bull? What were you thinking?
I did hear a lot of shade being thrown on Jameis Winston for good reason. A couple podcasts ago, but I do think now that his eyes are fixed, I think he's going to be a much better quarterback.
Yeah, but he's still back.
Having the ability to see, it helps. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not the number one thing to be a football player, but it helps.
It is the number one thing.
Ask Jameis, dude. He's putting up those yards.
Have you ever seen that like meme of that kid who's completely blind and he got that like hardcore metal music playing? He bursts the line.
It's like Mike Dunk asking if you want the Kobe or the LeBron, and then just missing the hoop.
You want the Kobe or LeBron?
Mike Dunk. So funny story about Mike. There was a song, I'm sure you guys remember. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like quarter brick, half a brick, whole brick.
Hey!
Oh,
the trap.
you remember that?
Yeah.
Jake and I used to bump that song all the time.
I literally listened to that on the way home from work yesterday.
So we had Mike Dunk sitting in the back of my car. That song came on, and we're like, Mike Dunk. Whenever he says that quarter brick, half brick, whole brick, hey, we want you to say, hey. He did it exact same.
Oh, yeah.
He was the one saying it. It was hilarious.
Yeah, and then he probably told you that he lived in apartment 420, man.
Oh, he did.
Apartment
Yeah.
420.
For the
I love
fans, if you have not listened to Make the Trap A by Gucci Mane and OJ the Juice Man, do it.
Jake, I don't know, like, where I would have heard. I think Mike Dunk was, like, making Facebook videos at the time. But there was one where he, like, told nasty girls to brush their teeth. And he was just like, brush your teeth. And it was, like, the funniest video ever.
Videos were hilarious.
Since we're all giving quick anecdotes about Mike Dunk, see, the thing about Mike Dunk, he loved apple juice. And
What do
every
you
single
love?
time
He's not dead that I know of.
he loves I don't know, maybe his taste changed. I don't know. Mike Dunk is still alive. He's probably doing great. He loves apple juice. And most of the days he'd come over to our table and be like, "You gonna drink that apple juice?" And I'm like, "No, you can have it. Like, by all means, take it." Even though I liked it, but whatever. So last day of school, I get a Mott's like quart of apple juice. And I was just like, went over to his table, was like, hey, Dunk, I got this for you. And he's like, "What?" And I was like, this is for you. He's like, "Are you serious, man? Thank you, man." And he's like started crying. I was like, "Oh my God. Like, you're welcome." I mean,
You know who
really
Mike
just
Dunk
have to-
sounds like? Mike Dunk sounds like
Tyrone
Trey
Biggums?
Davis.
Oh,
Tre'Davious White's like version of Vontae Davis.
yeah, you're right.
I got one more story about.
No, Jesus Christ. This isn't the Mike Dunk show.
Yeah, this is the
You already
coolest
had
thing-
your one, Brandon.
We should get him on as a guest if we can.
That would be hilarious.
This is the coolest thing I've ever seen happen.
John McCoy.
So I want to say it was me and Brett, maybe Matt and I. It was me, myself, and somebody else. We went to his birthday party that was at Eastway, right? So it was a bowling birthday party. It was super sick. When they sang him happy birthday, it wasn't the normal happy birthday to you. No, it was, whose birthday is it? Lil Mike. Whose birthday is it? Lil Mike. It was so sick, dude.
That's awesome.
That's
Um,
I want that to be something to me.
Right?
So, Jake.
No,
Man.
I will say, back to the Hot 32, and this is, I'm not necessarily saying have a whole conversation on it. I just want to get your thoughts on when you see, I mean, because there have been a few Hot 32s that have, been a little shade on the Jags, but now it is outright saying the Jags have
They're
the
worst.
worst roster. Like, you got to give me how you're feeling about that.
I don't feel very bad about it because it's not necessarily not true. Like, they're definitely – I would have to look at a list because I don't know that they're actually, like, bottom the actual 32.
So
But
ESPN is not a credible source?
not as credible as I'd like.
Okay.
But, like, just off my head, I would say they're definitely probably, like, bottom 6 for sure. So
I don't think they're the worst roster. I just think they have a lot of internal turmoil.
Who would you guys say the worst roster is?
Jaguars.
Lions or something?
The Patriots.
No,
actually, the Patriots are kind of a good choice without Tom Brady. They don't really have anybody.
I would probably honestly go Cincinnati minus their draft class.
Yeah.
Who do you say-
Defensive Player of the Year, Sony Michel.
That's a cornerback and a running back.
Good job.
You have a good line.
The
Do
Patriots,
you?
the Patriots got Gilmore, McCourty, Dante Hightower.
All those people are getting
Hearing a
old.
lot of dust.
They're definitely getting dusty, but they're still ballers, dude.
Oh, so quick aside. It's side bet time. Yeah, side bet. So Bull and I previously, we were texting about him coming on the show. I was throwing him shade about the Steelers. I told him that without Minkah Fitzpatrick, I don't think the Steelers would have a top 12 defense. But, Bull, we have, what is it, $20?
$20.
So, Bro Football Focus, side bets, action. Keep this in there. Bull and I, for next season, have a $20 bet that the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think they will not be a top 12 offense. If they are 13 below, Bull owes me $20.
Top 12.
All right.
Top 12.
What if they tie for 12?
No, then I think it's nullified.
You said they wouldn't be a top 12, so it means they'd have to be 13 or lower.
No, I think 12 is nullified. 11 through 1, you're good.
I feel like you're trying to throw in these rules.
I think you got to include 12.
All right, fine.
That's crazy, dude. It's a crazy bet.
I just think if Big Ben gets injured, which is likely, they're not going to do very good.
I mean,
Big
12
Ben
is
is a reformed man. He no longer watches Nog. He no longer drinks alcohol. He's going to these Christian conferences. His beard is sick.
I don't think that was recent.
though.
Like, I feel like that was a while ago.
It said last week.
He didn't go to the camp last week and quit porn last week. He said, like, previously in his life.
Hey,
I
again,
think he
football.
quit
It
it.
wasn't the last previously
Maximum 3
an hour
months.
ago.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Either way. Now it's time
Let's get to the silliness.
for the second favorite segment, the whoopsie of the week. So this week, the whoopsie is on a Chipotle manager in Indianapolis or wherever this happened. But Colts star young linebacker Darius Leonard went into a Chipotle with a bunch of buddies, and I guess this manager came up to him. And keep in mind, I think he had 3 black friends with him and a lady who was of mixed race, and they were eating, just enjoying their Chipotle. And then a manager came by and was like, yo, that person over there said you guys are being mad disrespectful. Y'all got to get out of here. And they're like, what? Like, we didn't say anything. We're just eating our Chipotle. And he's like, nah, you got to get out of here. So I guess everybody just made it all up, tried to get Darius Leonard kicked out. And then Darius Leonard talked about it on Instagram, and then that Chipotle guy got fired. Don't racially profile people. That's not cool.
Yeah, that's the number one thing I get out of this. Like, obviously, don't racially profile. That's a given. But also, and I've always had this thought of, why do people that work for a chain give a fuck? Like,
Yeah.
if this is your mom and pop shop and you're the owner and you have 3 employees and someone's really causing a ruckus and it's making people leave, then you can say something. But it's fucking Chipotle. Who cares? What if that person
It was a manager, right?
Yeah, but I mean, still, like, it's Chipotle. If somebody's saying, hey, they're being one, who even knows if somebody said that? If somebody was, hey, they're being really disrespectful.
Managers
I think that's
worked there for years. Like, think about Trench at Dairy Queen. Trench was more than just a Dairy Queen ice cream pourer. He was there for years. He gave up football camp for it. He lost all his muscle mass.
But here's my how many layers down from Mr. Chipotle is that guy?
Like 3 or 4 layers.
He's just a nut. 3 or 4, maybe like
That's
6 or
1 or
7.
2 layers.
But he's just a cog in the machine. Like, if you're a cog, don't be going out and making a fucking big deal about shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if they're destroying property in the
Exactly.
fucking thing, I get it. If they're being to the point to where, like, they're obstructing people from ordering, I get it.
If I worked at a franchise establishment and somebody, like, came up to me with, like, a gun and was robbing me, I'd be like, dog, I will give you everything in here. Just hold up. Just
Yeah.
I'll be like,
here
yo,
you
I'll
go.
give you the money. I'll give you, what do you want, a burrito? Do you want 2 tacos? I'll give you queso for free. I won't even charge you for guac, dog. Just get the fuck out of here.
You want me to carry the register out to your car, or like, what do you want?
Like, we'll-
Whatever you need, homie. It's not on me. It's
give them out to
insured.
your friends, like, and just to have somebody saying, hey, they're being disrespectful, giving the fact, I'll give it to them. We'll say, hey, there was somebody who said that. Even if there was. I'd say, okay, sorry. I'll just be like, hey, go over. Hey, they're saying you're being disrespectful. Like, if you are, just, like, I don't know, just leave them alone.
What exactly happened? They were stirring up a ruckus, the guy said, or what?
So, I mean, I guess nobody ever talked to the manager. I think what happened was this manager saw, like, a group of 4 to 5 black/mixed people.
Awesome, like linebackers.
Yeah, and in Indianapolis, which I'm sure is like racism is prevalent there. I mean, I don't know.
You got NASCAR.
Yeah. So I think the manager just, didn't want those people in his restaurant.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Watch this be like a Jesse Smollett case, dude, where they're just causing a scene. They're playing beer pong. They're smashing bottles.
Because NFL players don't have any other better venue to go to
Chipotle.
have some fun.
That's what I'm saying, dude. If you're a superstar linebacker and you're chilling at a Chipotle at 2 a.m, you're probably up to no good, dude.
I don't think it was at 2 a.m. I don't think Chipotle's are open at 2
Chipotle's not open 24/7.
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here.
Yeah, and
I'm trying to advocate for Lucifer.
Obviously, the Chipotle manager didn't know that this was Darius Leonard, because if you know that this is a Haas NFL linebacker, how are you going to kick him out of your restaurant?
No. Let's roll this back.
He instantly goes.
I don't care if this dude works at the Chipotle down the street. If you had the physique of an NFL anything, I'm just gonna be like, hey, if they're being disrespectful, deal with it. I'm fucking sorry. I'll go over there. I'll be like, hey, I'll pretend I'm saying like, hey, stop being disrespectful. I'll be like, hey, here's a buy one get one free burrito. You guys don't have any, is there anything I can get you? Oh, okay. And I'll point over to the people that are complaining. I'll be like, those people, not as cool as you guys. I fucking love you kids.
But yeah, I don't think they were doing anything. So I think hot take. Obviously, I wasn't there. I don't know what Darius Leonard went through. This may have not been a racial issue at all. What if this manager was like a Texans fan and did in fact know it was Darius Leonard, and he's like, oh, I'm going to fucking stick it to the Colts right now.
Yeah, I can definitely see it, dude.
I will say, I don't know how that hurts the Colts at all.
Because Darius Leonard's trying to get his nutrition, and he probably just had a really good workout. He needs a Chipotle burrito with all that protein and those carbs.
You got to think, mid-play, he looks over and sees somebody in the crowd eating a Chipotle burrito, and he's like, oh, has a flashback, and then just fucks the play up, and they lost.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just put laxatives in his burrito then, if he really wanted to mess with him?
Because that's too obvious, Brandon.
I guess.
And plus, Chipotle is laxatives in the first place.
You wouldn't expect anything out of the ordinary there.
When nothing's happening.
Once we were able to do smell-o-vision streams, I'll be sure to eat some Chipotle so the fans can smell what it does to you.
Yeah, Pro Football Focus innovating in many facets, such as smell-o-vision.
You know what? You know where he wouldn't have had a problem at was Mose. Mose would have welcomed him right off the bat.
That's where he'll be going from now on.
Welcome to Mose.
I just want to say, I think we are a Chipotle over Mose show.
So Chipotle started in Denver. I will say that. I don't know where it is. The original.
Chipotle's food is way better than Mose.
For sure.
Hold on. The wrong dog with queso? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Here's
You're wrong, Huffy.
Man comes in the background.
You're a wrong dog, Huffy.
Since we're talking about some fire grabs at Moe's, what you do is you get your drink, you drink your drink, okay? You go back to the machine when it's empty, rinse it out with water, dry it out with a napkin. Then you go over to the salsa. You get the medium heat salsa. Bam, 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 bam. Halfway full. Then you get the scorpion pepper salsa. 1, 2, 3, that's it. And then back to the medium. Bop, bop, bop. Stir, stir, stir. Take that shit home.
Now, what if you got a large drink? Is it still those numbers?
Yeah.
You think you're getting a medium?
Listen, me personally,
That's a lot of salsa.
I'll up the scorpion to 6.
Boy, Kelly.
I love it spicy. But yeah, that's just a quick tip for you guys. That's free. That was for free.
Yeah.
Here's a real question. Whether it be Chipotle or Moe's or whatever, do you guys consider the wrappability of the burrito or just the girth?
Huff and I are all about the girth, I'd say, right, Huff?
I appreciate that.
I mean,
Remember the football ones at Cheats?
but If it's super girthy and it's falling apart, like that's a poopy burrito.
No.
No, dude, I'll just muscle
I
through
grab
it.
handfuls of mush and just put it in my mouth.
If it's this thick, but when you go for a bite, it all falls out the bottom because it's not wrapped perfectly, that's a poop burrito.
Hunter, I'm
That's
not
your
going
fault
on a
for
date or
holding the
anything,
burrito
dude. I'm just
incorrectly.
kind
You
of
have to
hot
look like
down.
a baby and just kind of just start inching your way towards your other hand.
Hunter, have you ever eaten booty?
I've been around that area, but I'm not gonna lie to you.
I may have seen a booty in my
Really
hair,
put him
too.
on the spot.
the old tongue piece has never punched a fart box.
You never got in there, dude.
So, and this is the similarity. When you're eating booty, it's kind of like this. No, 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 no. When you're eating Chipotle, it's kind of like this. No, 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 no. So if you're into it, you're into it. If you're not, you're not. Some people are face deep, and some people are getting burrito bowls.
See,
Here's-
it doesn't matter if I like it or not. It just matters if my partner likes it.
You know,
Here's the question.
I'm talking about Chipotle.
If you guys had to be in a human centipede, would you want the front to eat?
I'm in the front all day.
I think probably middle, just because like you're just going with the flow.
Okay.
Literally, you are the flow.
You are the
All right.
front.
Speaking of human centipedes, it'd be a great time to introduce our new segment, Where Are They Now? And this is a segment that we talk about ex-players that people may have forgotten about, and just to see, where are they now? Some good, some bad, some silly.
So Jake, you already have a game of the week. This is Austin's segment. Why would you just step on his toes like that?
Wow.
I mean, I didn't mean. I just want to get the ball rolling because once you start talking about what part of the human centipede you want to be, you start going down a trail that you might not be able to get back from.
All right, I guess you're right. But
Before we get to
Austin,
this,
yeah, talk
we
about
get
your
a-
segment.
can we take a peeps break real quick?
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
beef break.
Peeps break.
So this
I
is
think
Hunter,
Brandon
Hunter, chill out. All right.
relax.
So for the very first ever, I didn't know how to do this segment or how long to make it. So this is just, I'm going to go with the flow and see how it is and change it from here.
I love it.
But that man is California prison inmate BL7078. Before he was a prisoner, he was one of the most devastatingly physical cornerbacks in NFL history. He's a CFL Grey Cup champion. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion, and he was one of the founding fathers of one of the greatest secondaries in NFL history. It's Brandon Browner.
Yes, I knew. I knew I wasn't racist.
Now,
So-
who? Give me the team and who this guy is.
So Brandon Browner started off with a pretty rocky start up in the Rocky Mountains, Jake. He went to Oregon State University, went undrafted, and was picked up by the Broncos in 2005.
The Colorado Rocky Mountains.
Exactly. But he snapped up his elbow, probably in a mountain injury, but no one really looked that deep into
You
it.
can't really be elbowing those mountains.
Broke his arm.
He's probably popping clouds with his amygdalas.
And then he, from there, they cut him, obviously, undrafted rookie, broke his arm. They cut him. He went to the CFL, played for the Calgary Stampeders, and
Sick.
quickly became a fan favorite for his competitiveness and tenacity. And he spent 5 years in Canada and won the Grey Cup in 2008. Then, when Pete Carroll, as talked about earlier, first became head coach of the Seahawks in 2010, he drafted Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, and then they went 7-9. I think that's the year they snuck in the playoffs with Marshawn Lynch. And the next year, he drafted Richard Sherman in the 5th, and then signed Brandon Browner undrafted. Then, so they got Browner, they got Richard Sherman, they got Chancellor, Earl Thomas. The Legion of Boom is born.
Mhm.
They
Secondary of all time, probably.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So they're tearing it up. They're like the number one defense every year. They end up going to the Super Bowl, winning in 2013. But Browner didn't actually play that game because he got suspended for PEDs. But we won't talk about that. But then so the next year he leaves, goes to the Patriots, teams up with Darrelle Revis and Devin McCourty, makes another kind of Legion of Boom-esque secondary. Patrick Dunn, Chung. They go straight to the Super Bowl and face the Seahawks. So he's facing his former team. It's neck and neck. It goes down. The Seahawks are on the 1 yard line with like a couple seconds left in the game. They're about to punch it in and win. They're supposed to hand it off to Marshawn Lynch, but Russell Wilson checks off into that quick slant. Brandon Browner is the guy who blocked Jermaine Kearse and let Malcolm Butler get in there for that interception. So he had a pivotal play in that Super Bowl.
So, Austin, where is he now?
This is where I'm getting. After that, he went to the Saints and had the worst season of all time. He led the league in penalties in, like, not just that year, but, like, in history. He had the most penalties ever of any player.
Wow, that's bad.
So then after that, he after that stinky season, he went into a downward spiral. He signed back with the Seahawks. They cut him before the season even started. And then he got arrested for cocaine and DWI.
Oh, shit.
Like, immediately after that, his girlfriend filed for restraining order for an alleged assault. And then, like, he just went to playing flag football in Mike Vick's flag football league. But the cops arrested him for the girlfriend thing. And he was sentenced for 3 years probation. He served 2 days in jail and was put on a 52-week domestic violence program. And then, like, immediately after that sentence got handed out, he broke into his girlfriend's home through a locked window, stole her $20,000 Rolex, and threatened to kill her, prevented her from leaving the house, attempted to smother her, and then he, like, fled the house, was on the run. Cops picked him up, and now he's in jail. You know, he got sentenced to an 8-year sentence. So he swapped his flag football jersey with Mike Vick for an orange jumpsuit, and he'll be eligible for parole in 2024.
What a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's quite the what do they call it? The hero's journey.
It's the hero's journey. You know, he's at the top. He's living the good life.
Yeah. See, well, right now he's going through his tribulations, and then he'll turn around and then gain everything back.
This is the second movie in the trilogy.
Yeah, hopefully he does turn his life around. That'd be a hell of a good comeback story.
Second movie in the trilogy before the prequel, like 5 years after.
Yeah. Now, Jake, I hope you're going to put this picture up during the segment, because I think you can definitely tell, like, if I was a judge, I would say that I think Brandon Browner is sorry for what he did.
He's definitely
He looks very sad.
And I'll definitely put the picture up. I'm not an amateur.
He pled a no contest and said that, you know, he's glad they picked him up before he committed further violence.
Wow. So, yeah, no. Well, I think I can say for everybody at Bro Football Focus, I hope Brandon Browner gets back on the right track, the right side of things.
Oh, I'm sweating so much. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah. It's hot in Colorado.
Yeah, you got some games. How hot is it out there? Like 72?
Right now, hey, Google, what is the temperature?
Wow. High tech.
Right now it's 82. But I'm in the shade, so it's kind of cool. Like, 82 is kind of on the lower end. Like, we usually get highs around 90 at the moment, and then we'll probably be getting, like, the 95s, 98s. It comes probably next month.
Oh.
But speaking about sweating too much, this would be the perfect time to get into Jake's fun game of the week.
Yay.
This week's
Yay.
game is top 3 best Super Bowl halftime performances. This is the part of the game that non-football fans are waiting for, besides the commercials.
I'm excited for this one.
That you change over from the Puppy Bowl into the Super Bowl Then after you go back to the Puppy Bowl. Hunter's still drinking the news wine. It's gross. I can tell.
To be fair, this would be any wine that I could possibly be drinking.
Is it
Besides,
growing on you though?
that jug wine, I like the jug wine.
I think you would like a white Zinfandel because it's not as bitter, a little bit sweeter. This is like your blushes or your rosé pink wines.
Yeah.
But I will say I haven't had a sip of alcohol since probably like November. So
Are you going to play without Christian like Ben Roethlisberger?
No, but I am feeling the wine a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm about to pour my third mimosa. Almost done with the bottle here.
Oh.
But champagne's a little bit lower. It's made for drinking in the mass consumption.
Maybe I'll take the bottle on a knee and pull a blackout.
Well, what are you whispering there, huh?
Is it whispering or having one of his nervous tics?
Huh?
Secrets don't make friends.
I'm talking to people behind the
Secrets are no fun unless you share them with everyone.
That's what I was.
Speaking of sharing with everyone, we're going to go Bull, me, Austin, Hunter. Bull, share your number 3 favorite halftime performance.
So, yeah, that's definitely not number 3.
Definitely not.
No.
Oh, real quick, Austin, I know you missed the last episode, but obviously we can now have the same ones.
Yeah.
I will say, and I'm not going to say we have to change it, but I don't necessarily like giving the same ones because, it's less media. I want people to see a whole bunch of different stuff.
I mean, I like it because I feel like if we have to change it, it destroys the integrity of your list.
It's not true to heart. I get it.
So,
Well, number 3.
my number 3 is the 2009 Super Bowl halftime show with Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. Purely because Bruce Springsteen slid crotch first into a camera and was looking like a baller doing it the entire time.
Okay.
I do like a lot of crotch first dudes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought the boss up because if you didn't, I don't think he would have been on anybody else's list.
Really? That's surprising.
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen, not my favorite artist, I'll say that.
Wow. Disrespect. I am a pro Bruce Springsteen guy.
Oh yeah, where's your Bruce Springsteen shirt, Bull?
Where's your Bruce Springsteen face tattoo?
I do. I have a Bruce Springsteen face tattoo on my ass if you guys want me to show you.
Oh, on your ass's face.
Yeah, let's right now, Bull.
Okay.
Well,
No.
please
We don't
don't.
want you kicked off of YouTube.
You have a weird tuchus for your body size. I don't want to see it.
It's all back to legs. That's the worst part about it. Yeah, wherever my upper body goes, that's where my lower body goes, purely because I have no weight below
How it
me.
happens.
So who's next? Who's up?
I am next, and obviously we're gonna put these clips in. But my number 3 is the Katy Perry Left Shark 2015 show. It's hilarious. Katy Perry, Ultimate Smoke, Ultimate Baps. Just all the coordinated dancing is going on, and everyone's having a good time, and then the classic meme, Left Shark, just kind of doing
The giant
whatever.
tiger she came in on, also pretty cool. Like she was on a giant mechanical tiger.
See, I like that because to me, when I saw that, I was like, oh, 2015, this is like the next milestone till 2020 in regards to years. I'm like, giant mecha animals might be the future.
Yeah.
And obviously, Katy Perry's so hot. So.
Yeah.
All right, what do we do if you take one off my list per se, Jake?
You still do your list.
I mean, you can re-say it, but if you want to just add a little extra media, you can go with a different one. It's all up to you. You can say this is my real one, but I'll give a mention to this one. But it's up to you.
All right.
Or you can say, if it's the same thing that Jake said, you can just say why it's special to you.
The world is yours. But yeah, that's my number 3.
All right, so my number 3, this necessarily isn't like one of the best of all time, but it's one of my favorites.
Black Eyed Peas.
It's the 2011 Packers versus Steelers Black Eyed Peas.
Really? All their outfits are so cool.
The outfits are pretty cool, but you know where they messed up is the audio. Because the Black Eyed Peas kind of rappelled down from the Steelers on these like platforms, and they start going into "I Got a Feeling," and Fergie starts going, but her mic isn't working.
Go out and smash it. Like, oh my God. Jump out that sofa. Let's get up.
We will have a ball. Get down and go out and just lose it all. I feel stressed out. I wanna let it go. Whisk away out, spaced out, and losing all control.
Chit. Fill up my cup. Mazel tov. Look at it dance.
But they cut it on just in time for them to say, "Fill up my cup, Mazel tov." So as long as you get that line in, it's good from there.
Yeah. Oof.
And then like some smoke starts billowing across the stage, and up from the floor rises Slash, and then so Fergie like comes over, she's like grinding on him, he's just like grinding on the guitar.
Bunderslash.
Yeah, and they're singing "Sweet Child of Mine," which is just so random.
Weird.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
If I'm the Black Eyed Peas, I'm doing whatever it takes to get to I'm a B the fastest.
Could you imagine
I'm a B.
Could you imagine how wild Coach B was going while watching the Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah.
Have a good time for sure.
I tell you what, if there's one man in this country that loves the song I'm a B, it is Coach Dan Budiszewski.
Really?
Every single day in
yeah, every day in gym class he would put on. He's like, "Hey, you guys want to listen to music?" And music, it wasn't, "Do you guys want to listen to music?" It was, "Do you guys want to listen to the Black Eyed Peas? I'm a B." And he would just be, "I'm a B, I'm a B, I'm a B, I'm a B, I'm a B."
Yeah, no.
I'm not gonna lie, the wavelength has been kind of scary today.
I don't know. I just had him in my mind for some reason. But my number 3, it was the most recent Super Bowl halftime show. J-Lo and Shakira. Because when that was going on, was watching it with the fellas and just like edge of your seat kind of content, like just time after time, it got like steamier and steamier, concluded with the double twerk. Shakira obviously leagues beyond J-Lo's twerking skills, but just entertaining, steamy, great halftime show.
And they both phenomenal too for how old they are. They still look like they're in great shape.
Shakira's not that old. J-Lo's 50.
I would say, isn't Shakira in her 40s?
Probably, but she's not 50.
Yeah, I'll just say I'm glad that the my webcam is not pointed at my waist right now, because that show, 1, 2 of the ultimate smokes in the game.
Yeah,
Shakira has that Latin fire, and again, so I'm standing as this halftime show happens. I'm flying into Orlando for a business thing, and we get into the hotel, halftime starts. My completely legal stream is about a minute and a half behind the actual cable stream, which is playing in the lobby of the hotel. So my stream is kind of in and out, cutting in and out. So I'm like looking here, looking there, looking here, and I'm like jumping. I'm doing this like time jump of like a minute ahead, back, a minute. Sometimes like it's really weird. But my favorite part, and I mentioned this in a previous episode, but Shakira, she jumps on the crowd, surfs, comes over to the camera. My favorite part. My favorite part. Because I was like, all right, obviously these are very attractive ladies and they're dancing their ass off and they're smart and brave and funny and the music is really good. And all of a sudden she just drops that little turkey call. And I was like, well, now I know she's human. I get it. And yeah, I mean, and it seemed like nobody talked about it. I mean, obviously it's a great show, but yeah, I mean, it was quite the entertainment.
That part where she went, "Pooh!" that was talked about for like the next 3 weeks.
I think the twerking was talked about longer than that.
Yeah, I think the fact that J-Lo is 50 and still looks like she's 28 was
By the way,
talked about for longer.
It's a list for another show and another day, but Shakira might be on just like the ultimate smokes of all time list.
Yeah.
My research team found out that Shakira is 43.
Yeah, not as old as 50.
No, but she still looks phenomenal for 43, dude.
Do you think she does the weird voice thing she does when she is fornicating? Like,
Oh, I hope so.
I'd imagine at some point she's giving a little goose.
I think she has to. But
She's
that's
She's been alive as long as, twice as long as we have. So
yeah,
she's definitely given a little bit of goose sometimes.
and she's debatably twice as attractive as we are.
yeah.
Sorry, maybe 1.8. I don't know.
Bull, what's your two?
My number two was the Katy Perry.
That's okay. You can say that.
You can say that.
Yeah. So
What do you like about it? Let me know.
the fact, Katy Perry, I think, is much more attractive than both J-Lo and Shakira. Yeah.
Bull,
I know.
Bull, I'm gonna ride with you on this one.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh,
What?
Yeah, I'm not a big Halo guy.
Yeah. Here comes Hunter.
Katy Perry's baps are fantastic.
Oh, have you seen her in the when she did California Girls? Oh,
Get out of there.
you're wrong.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Same thing.
Bull, I'm with you, dude. Like, and it's not all about the baps or the or the cheeks.
I think it's much cooler.
Yeah, she's cool. She's got a good voice, personality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and her in that California video, California Girls, that might be the most attractive music video I've ever seen ever.
Easily one.
Russell Brand said she was very boring.
Really?
Oh, Russell Brand.
Russell Brand's also a wildcat. Yeah.
In my pregame, before every football game, I had a playlist with like 10 or 12 Katy Perry songs that just get me juiced up.
So
end with Roar.
I have a good story about playlists. So, oh man, I'm sorry, fellas. So, a good story about playlists. We were at a tournament in New York my senior year for wrestling, and one of our wrestling companions, Spencer, was listening to his headphones and getting warmed up for a match. He handed the headphones and the iPod to our coach.
Was it Call Me Maybe?
No, it was what was it? It was a Miley Cyrus song, Born in the USA. And
He's like a Green Beret or Army Ranger or something. So
is he
really?
Born in the USA, a Bruce Springsteen song?
Or no, not Born in, what is it?
Party in the USA?
Yeah, I'm a dummy.
It was a Miley Cyrus cover of Born in the USA.
That'd be sick.
Mine just filled in the blanks on that one. I didn't mess that one up.
I'm losing it. So yeah, that was my number two, was the fact that Katy Perry is one of the Joniest Jonies to ever Joni. And the shark
saying Katy Perry is more attractive than Shakira is just like
saying she's more attractive than J-Lo is insane.
Oh, come on, guys. To each his
You
own.
guys,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different show, different time, different show. Who's next?
So, I'm going to take this one back to 2001.
oh,
After 9/11, immediately after, we got this phenomenal halftime show people seem to forget about. It featured NSYNC for the girls, Britney Spears for the boys in her prime,
mm-hmm.
and Aerosmith
And Nelly.
for the old people.
And Nelly?
And
Yeah.
Mary Blige.
I was gonna get there.
Nelly 2001?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Nelly snuck in there. And it was just the most 2000s like halftime show you could ever imagine, just like all the eras. You got Britney Spears with Steven Tyler just like performing. It was so weird. But it was a good halftime show for sure.
Now, I will say this is when Britney Spears was extremely hot and not nearly as crazy. So after the clip of the Super Bowl performance of her, I'm going to put in one of Britney Spears' TikToks. She's off the deep end. Like, she is
Jake,
batshit crazy.
Is it where she's talking about burning down her gym?
That or her, like, Merry Christmas one.
I haven't seen that.
She's crazy.
Was that on your guys' list? Did you watch that halftime show recently?
I watched it in a recently, as in, when I did the research for this.
Yeah.
It's really
Hunter, take a look at like prime Britney Spears. I forgot all about her.
She's probably like 17 or some shit.
Oh.
Yeah,
She definitely feels like an early 2000s hot girl.
Well, this definitely isn't grooming because she's like 30 or 40 or something now. So.
When you talk about early 2000s, when it comes to women, it's pretty much either Britney Spears or Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
So, like,
she's attractive. She's got the abs going on.
You also forgot to add Mary J. Blige is also in that?
No, we made a little.
yeah, we mentioned.
Oh, did you? Okay.
We mentioned MJB.
There was somebody after the Katy Perry Super Bowl halftime show. Somebody posted on social media that they were like, "Oh, look at Katy Perry! Look at Katy Perry being so awesome that she's letting new and upcoming artists like Mary J. Blige."
That show also featured Lenny Kravitz and Missy Elliott.
Really?
Two icons in the music industry.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think Mary J. Blige was in that one. I think that was.
No. Mary J. Blige was in 2001.
Yeah, but
the Katy Perry was Missy Elliott.
That's fucking dude. Are you serious? You gotta show them.
My favorite Lenny Kravitz performance is Hunger Games 2.
Wow, mine is Zoolander 1. But Bull, what do we got going on? I see some stuff.
Hunger Games 2.
Yeah, Jake said Hunger
Did you
Games
just say Lenny Kravitz and Hunger Games 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has so many accessories on his hands. Jake, I'm so happy.
He's one of my favorite Hunger Games characters.
Little aside for the fans, Huffy, was it in high school when he wore the Mockingjay necklace?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yeah, 100%.
That's awesome.
You can't embarrass me about that because I'm incredibly proud about it.
Huffy's a big Peter Millark guy.
I never knew this about Huffy.
I'm not a Peter Millark guy. That's the only person he knows. That's why he said it.
I also know Katniss Everdeen.
Oh, wow, the other main character.
Yeah.
And listen, the Hunger Games is stupid. Bull knows.
Great. It's terrible.
See, I'm a big Woody Harrelson character guy.
Sure. Jake, what's your two?
My number two, my real number two.
Number two
is thank you, number two. My real number two is this most recent one with Shakira and J-Lo. But to give the fans a little more media, I will put my official number 2 at the Beyonce Destiny's Child 2013 performance.
That was a good one.
Because
Where Kelly reveals herself.
Wind your waist, 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 wind your waist. Baby boy, you stay on my mind, fulfill my fantasy. I think about you all the time. My baby's clock, baby, oh.
Beyonce is debatably in my top 3 of most attractive celebrities.
Really?
I'd say definitely higher than J-Lo and Shakira for me.
Yeah. See, that's an accurate.
Yeah.
Saying Beyonce is more attractive than Shakira and J-Lo, that's accurate.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hunter, you're
I think
crazy.
Katy Perry's
You
hotter
got
than
bang
Beyonce.
for the chicas, dude.
J-Lo is not more, or Beyonce is not more attractive than Shakira.
Wow.
She is.
I figured the contention would be with J-Lo. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my spicy mamacitas, but
I love
Yep.
my
Beyonce.
spicy mamacitas. I think that is the problem.
because she's in the in all the black leather, but it also turns into like lace leather at the
She
bottom.
has like
with some
bullets on her, and it's scary.
Again, I'm glad this camera's not pointed at my waist.
She revealed Formation, though, and that's a good song.
I'm sorry?
I said she revealed Formation, and that was a good song.
Yeah, no, that was probably one of her best songs.
I don't even know what
Does it-
song you're talking about.
Formation?
Okay, ladies, now let's get
It's
information.
like bump, bump, bump,
Not a good song.
bump.
All right. So is it me now for my 2?
Mm-hmm.
I think so, yeah.
My 2, I'm going with the ultimate classic. I didn't want to put it at the 1, but Janet Jackson.
Oh my god!
Oh, my iPad's okay.
Another workplace accident.
Fine.
But yeah, Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake. Everybody knows what happens here. I just think it's the most iconic Super Bowl halftime show, whether it was pre-planned or not. Right at the end, JT. I mean, it has to be pre-planned, right? She had like a boob uncoverable strap, Joni.
No, I mean, no.
You don't have to admit the up on the play. Come on, dance with me. Do, 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 do. Now, Janet, won't you sing? No disrespect, I don't mean no harm. I can't wait to put you in my arms. Hurry up, take it to come on, baby. By the end of this song.
Choose your music.
I think
Timberlake is strong.
Justin Timberlake just did a Madden Audible.
Didn't she have?
Yeah, he's like, honestly, let me
Something.
check this shit out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely planned then.
Yeah. So they're probably doing Sexy Back. They're definitely doing Sexy Back. JT says, I'm going to have you butt naked by the end of this song. Bang. Nipple reveal
Yeah,
on live TV.
and that was before streaming, so children were watching.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
excited.
And it probably ruined their lives. They probably made those children into Nazis.
I will say Janet Jackson has a sexy front.
I'm sure she has a sexy all around. A sexy
Probably.
360.
I'd say she's more attractive than Shakira and J-Lo.
Bull, all I know about Janet Jackson
In
is
Wisconsin.
that her name's not Baby. It's Janet, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
Oh, that was nice.
Well, she wrote that, so not me.
Yeah, I know. But that was a nice callback.
Well, if
Wait,
you know so much, what's your number 1, Bull?
The whole reason I became friends with Hunter is because I thought he wrote that song.
We're-
Fuck.
Yeah, you just exposed yourself, H-Dog.
Damn.
Yeah.
I just lost all my friends.
Yeah, no, my number 1 is actually the Janet Jackson BAP reveal. Because if you get to see a boob on live TV, then it's automatically number 1.
Yeah, I mean, sex definitely sells, and that boob sold a
Yeah.
lot. That is the most recognizable halftime show of all time.
Yeah.
You know what?
A lot of newspapers.
I should have wore the same outfit and had Huffy reveal my boob. That was my B-boys.
That can be for our 100th episode. We can do that.
Sick.
I
But
mean,
is
we
it?
already did a both boob reveal bowl, so the muster is kind of lost.
Oh, yeah, you're not wrong.
All right,
So
Austin, lay it on us. I hope
my
it's
number
alive.
one has been ran through like a neighborhood bus, and it was the 2015 Katy Perry, animatronic tiger, the sharks. I really like Katy Perry, H-Dog.
That's your what?
Yeah, dude, California Girls, Teenage Dream, and
She's my young adult dream.
and I know it's been mentioned, but Missy Elliott coming in there,
Yeah.
like, come on, dude.
Missy Elliott with Big Boy.
Was Big Boy in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were in the car together, I believe.
Yeah.
But that was, I think Missy Elliott was having like health problems or something, and that was like her first comeback into the spotlight.
And that's
She
a good
did.
comeback. A lot of people actually referred to that Super Bowl as a Katy Perry concert with some football in the background. But
Yeah, what game was that? Who was playing?
that was
2015.
the Pats versus the Hawks. That's when Brandon Browner blocked out Jermaine Kearse and caused the interception. But anywho, so the only thing I didn't like was Katy Perry in the background going, "Let's go Super Bowl," like every 15 seconds.
Yeah.
But so
Yay, NFL!
just for some added
Take a side.
added entertainment, I'm gonna also throw in the mention of the 2001 Thanksgiving halftime show with Creed, where
Take me higher.
and they're just like they got the guys on trapezes just flying around the stadium.
On trapeze.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good one too. So I'll throw that in there.
That's pretty funny. I didn't even know that Creed performed in a halftime show in the last 15 years. Well, I guess 2001 was not 15 years.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
19 years or so, 20 maybe.
So,
You
Jake,
know that moment you finally feel old? That's right now.
Oh,
Yeah, Jake, when you said
2001
that-
was 19 years ago.
what is your numero uno, Jake?
So my numero uno, and it's number one because I literally I think I might have at least shed one tear, if not my eyes watered up. But this is the Prince halftime show because, first of all, the guitar he has is his name, essentially, because it's the symbol that is the Prince symbol.
And it's also like kind of wiener shaped.
If your wiener shaped like that, you need to go to the doctor. But it's like a sparkly purple, but the pinnacle
Yellow?
of his performance is when he's like purple rain, and it just starts pouring down rain. Like, oh man, even right now I'm just like,
I only wanted one time to see you laughing, babe. Only wanna see you laughing, yeah. In the purple rain, purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. That's alright. Come on, y'all. Purple rain, purple rain. Oh yes. Don't it feel good? Only wanna see you. Can I play this guitar?
What year was this?
this was 2007, and oh man, it just went.
7?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, because obviously everybody's singing along, and there's like phones, like Nokia phones in the air, and like lighters in the air, and then it just starts pouring down rain, and it's just something.
What if that rain caused David Tyree to make that helmet catch? Is that the right year? I don't even know if I'm getting the.
Dolphin Stadium game.
I think it was 2007.
It was not in Hard Rock Stadium. Wasn't it in Minnesota? That's why Prince did it.
Jamie, pull that up.
He's on break, so he can't really pull it up.
Huffy, pull that shit up. Huffy's eating a pizza. Huffy's the worst.
Yeah, he's outside.
No, he's fine.
Yeah, he's locked in, dude.
But yeah, I mean, like the fact that
He's done with
the
it.
came coming down, and yeah, I mean, even just like watching it. That's the thing. I didn't even like rewatch this one because I knew as soon as last episode, and I mentioned it in last episode, I was like, dude, Prince, like that show, it's just, yeah, it's good.
I've never seen it. I'll have to look it up.
See, I might have to put the full halftime show videos in this clip, so this episode's like 3 hours long.
Let it rip, dude. It's the 10th episode especial.
For real.
Yeah. So can I give my one now?
Yeah.
So Jake, as you revealed last time when we were saying what this was going to be, and you said Prince, I was like, oh, Jake, come on. Because clearly it's my number one. Because
And that's
boy,
not
oh
your
boy.
only Prince album.
What?
So that's not your only Prince album.
True. But everything you said, plus it was just a magical show. They told Prince not to do it because he could have gotten like electrocuted in the rain. He was like, nah, guys, I got to do it. It's the Super Bowl. Goes out there and just shreds in the rain. You're right. He's singing Purple Rain. It's literally Purple Rain. It's perfect. It's magical. Best ever.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Did you ever find out what Super Bowl it was?
Yeah.
XLI.
Colts, Bears.
I'm not an ancient Roman,
Oh.
so I don't know XLI off the top of my head.
Was Brian Urlacher in there, or what was going on?
I imagine Brian Urlacher was
And
in
he's
there.
wearing this cool, like, blue-orange suit. It's
Now, Jake, was I wrong in saying the guitar is yellow?
the guitar is purple.
Are you? Oh no, you're right. I think I saw that guitar in the Smithsonian one time.
Really?
We were in the same. It was the same trip, but we were together
What's the Smith?
That's not true.
for the DC trip.
I've never been to DC with you. Did not have AP Gov.
Fucking stupid ass.
Yeah, I had regular Gov. But yeah, so that was the fun game of the week. Now we can talk about what everybody wants to talk about. And
I do have an honorable mention.
I have an
I do have-
option too.
Yeah, so it was more of this could go more under the whoopsie of the week.
Yeah. it's perfect.
The century, but I think it was a year or two ago, the creator of SpongeBob died, and they could have literally had just played with projectors the SpongeBob Dome show, and they did like a 30-second clip of that and then went into the halftime show, and it was the most ridiculous blue ball I've ever seen.
This is also my honorable mention. It's the same one. So yeah, everyone on Twitter is blowing up. This guy died. We gotta play the Bubble Bowl performance.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's one of the best performances out there when it comes to sports. Is the Bubble Bowl, and so they give a little tease of the fish to, and everyone's like, yes! And then they make like a meteor come down, and then inside of the meteor is Travis Scott, and everyone's like, wait,
Oh
what?
yeah.
And then like Travis Scott does bad, and I think this is 2 years ago, maybe 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought it was gonna be like a sick performance, but it did not live up to the expectations.
No.
Also,
No,
that
I
SpongeBob Bubble Bowl, when I heard that when I was a kid, dude, goosebumps.
Oh, it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, we
Catch
even
on
watched
the
it not even
drums.
2 months ago, and like just the song "Sweet Victory" is just so good.
Oh yeah, dude.
But my thing is, if you're the NFL, like, what what dude was like, you know what, guys? Let's play a 5-minute clip of non-licensed fish wearing red uniforms playing trumpets and then just get on with the show. Like, if you're just going to do the regular show, don't do it at all.
Yeah.
People were like, ah, what? And then there's Travis Scott, and you couldn't really even hear him.
Travis Scott's like singing sicko mode after that.
Yeah, and it's
Well,
just like, okay.
So
Like,
not only
you're the
but once
NFL, you can pay for the royalties to use SpongeBob characters. You can do it. I mean, you can. You're the fucking NFL.
honestly, it'd probably be cheaper having to get
Are you
Travis.
saying they cut them off to not get blue balled like we did from Jay-Z?
See, now I think, because here's the thing, and to your point, Brandon, as well, it's obviously booked for the Super Bowl performance way before the Super Bowl. Like, honestly, this next Super Bowl performance is probably already booked and paid for and good.
And they're practicing.
So there's no way that because of Twitter, they're going to be like, you know what? You guys aren't doing it anymore. We're just going to play a screen. We're just going to lose the, $2 million we spent to get you guys to come here. Not going to happen. Like, we're going to do a little SpongeBob screen instead. Like, that would just be such the swing of, like, we have already paid this money for real live people. We don't want to have to lose that money and then spend debatably more money to get Nickelodeon to release the rights for cartoon people. Like, there's just no way that would happen.
They definitely just already had it planned out. And then
Well,
when that happened, they threw it in.
You know what they could have done? They could have had Travis Scott do all his stuff, extend the halftime another 4 or 5 minutes, and say, hey, we're going to do this. And I'm sure they have the money to be able to do that.
Maybe, you have a good point. Maybe you have after the show, both performances go, and then it ends, all the lights go down, and everyone's like, woo, we're going to get back to the game. And then, dun, 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 dun.
They could have.
The thrill of one more kill.
Like
It would have been better. If they would have done that after the other two performances and the other two teams ran out as the trumpets were playing. That would have been sick. Luke Holland is blowing your Twitter up right now, Hunter.
How do you know that?
So
because I keep getting notifications.
Oh,
I'll take a shit, yo. Well, all right, let's hop to it.
Yeah, next one.
What do you mean the next one?
Is this Sweetest Ceps?
Next segment, dog.
Yes, the next segment. The Sweetest Ceps. So, little technical snafus with this round. So I think what we're going to do here is go with a Big Bull opinion. And if we like it, we'll go with it. If we don't, we won't. So, Bull.
Some contention.
Looks like in this first matchup, we have O.J. Howard versus a much better picture of Jalen Smith.
It looks like two different people.
I've never seen this picture of Jalen Smith before.
Me neither. It looks like he's wrapping up his ring finger with some sort of tape.
Yeah, it looks like he's about to finger blast the opponent.
So, Bull, what do you think about these guys and their steps?
So,
and these are biceps, not triceps or quadriceps.
Also, I will say, do not take into account the deltoid because Jalen Smith's delt is ridiculous. That's a 3D boulder shoulder.
Honestly, I think Jalen Smith's arm is ridiculous. You can take any segment of his arm, and it's just muscle on muscle.
Yeah.
I think he could get into the salty splatoon, no problem.
100%.
And I think he definitely beats O.J. Howard. O.J. Howard's lean, but dude's just yoked. He is yoked.
You think Jalen Smith beats O.J. Howard?
Yeah. In that picture, 100%.
So for this one, are we just voting between ourselves? We didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So wait, what happened with the voting? Why?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just technical difficulties. I made the graphics, but didn't send the graphics, and a bunch of rigmarole, a little bit of riffraff, and we're here now. So that's what matters.
Speaking of riffraff, Vanilla Gorilla not as good as Cranberry Vampire. Heard it here first.
And Cranberry Vampire not as good as Peach Panther.
Cranberry Vampire, not as good as Balloween.
Balloween, not as good as Peach Panther, but still right there. Back from the Dead? Come on.
Yeah.
Bitches in My Driveway? Come on.
Fresh Pair of Robins?
Come on.
Yeah. So, Bull, you want to give it to Jalen Smith here?
I do. I do want to give it to Jalen Smith. That picture makes – I think
Jalen Smith is experiencing the 2K effect here where he's just more sweaty.
Hunter, what's your opinion on this?
Yeah, give us yours. You're giving a lot of backhanded shade towards Jalen Smith.
Yeah, that's true.
Backhanded shade? Like Austin, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. But
trying to just advocate for the devil.
I do think O.J. Howard looks a little more defined. But if we're just talking about the sweetness of the Ceps, in this picture, I do think Jalen Smith may have it. But he does have a sleeve covering one half of his Ceps.
Yeah, but you still get a good picture of the other.
And I agree with Hunter. And obviously, O.J. Howard has sweet Ceps. But looking at O.J. Howard's left arm, it seems there's not much thickness when it comes from, front to back. Like here to here.
Yeah.
Whereas Jalen Smith seems to have that thickness, even being able to see that over the sleeve.
Does thickness equal sweetness, though?
In my opinion, it does.
Definitely a factor in there.
Yeah. I mean, just because, you look super sweet this way, like my arms look pretty bulbous this way, they don't look good this way. People
so here's
a bodybuilder here, but I'm not here. It's just how it happens.
Here's a real inclination on if it's a sweet Cep or not. Would you rather have O.J. Howard Cep or Jalen Samuels? I'd rather have Jalen Samuels.
Well,
Jalen Smith.
Here's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at both these pictures, and I think Jalen Smith has the better arms. I think he has better delts, better triceps. But when I think it comes down to the Cep, I think O.J. Howard's got the better Cep, dude.
I don't know about that.
Jalen Smith's bicep is dwarfed by his tri and his delt.
I think that's relativity, though.
I think O.J. Howard's biceps are small, though. They're just defined.
If you look at –
They are. He's
that
lean.
is a 6'6", 260-pound tight end.
Aston, if you look at the
For him to be lean,
arm,
like –
if you look at the sleeved arm, you can see a vein through his sleeve.
Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in on that, Bull.
Yeah.
Enhance that image.
Yeah, no, you're right about that vein. But the thing is, if you got that, why are you covering it up? I'm taking a half point off for the sleeve. I'm sorry.
So let's just make this simple and easy. Jake, who does your vote go to?
Jalen Smith.
Bull, who's your vote go to?
Jalen Smith.
Austin?
I'm riding with OJ, dude.
I think I have to give it to Jalen Smith.
All right. Jalen
We do.
chances.
I just won $1,000 on that. A lot of people were riding with the
Yeah, we're on DraftKings Sportsbook.
we're all FanDuels.
Yeah, you can vote on Pro Football Focus's week or monthly brackets. We have a partnership with FanDuel, so just hop on there. Code Pro Football Focus.
And I will say this is one of the tougher matchups.
This one that we have up here right now?
Yeah, these are some good Ceps. Not like top 3, but like pretty good.
Compared to each other, yeah.
So
And I
next
will say, last episode, I'll have to apologize for young Hunter because he called Joey Bosa Nick Bosa, and he also called Nick Bosa Nick Bosa. So it seemed as if there was two people, like maybe clones, but this guy is not a clone. They're just related.
Oh, we might need you for a tiebreaker on that.
Wow.
Here, Hunter.
My bad. So this one, we have Bo Scarborough versus Joey Bosa
If you have a tie, let me know. Yeah.
of the Chargers. And Austin, you think this is contentious?
No, not this one. The one we just did.
Oh, because
You
this
want my
one,
opinion on this one?
even though I feel like it's kind of a bad pick, I think this is a Joey Bosa.
No, this one I'm Joey Bosa all the way, dude.
Yeah, I'm a big Joey Bosa guy.
Cannons.
Jake?
Compared to Scarlett.
Joey Bosa's Ceps have the girth, I will say that, and it looks like if you enhance that image, he has what seem to be stretch marks on his left arm. So when your bicep is stretching your skin, it's huge.
Hunter or Jake, I don't think those are stretch marks. I think those are trench marks from like chopping
and I think we can definitely find a better picture of Joey Bosa too.
Yeah,
Nope.
we can. I'm sure.
That's the best.
I literally spent 2 hours making this list. I looked.
Wow.
A lot of the other ones are extended arm ones, which stretches the bicep and makes it look smaller and less bulbous.
Well,
so it looks like there's a hickey or something, like some girl sucked his bicep.
Yeah.
If you're getting girls to suck your biceps, they're probably pretty sweet.
That was
Definitely
probably
a smooch there.
it was probably Ndamukong Suh getting nasty in the trenches.
True. He was sucking on it.
I'll send him a DM or something. Ask him to flex one for us. You know.
That would be honestly, if we should do that. We should just start DMing people on like MySpace or something.
All right, so Joey Bosa going through.
Yeah.
Next matchup, this one is a toughie.
Yeah, this is a spicy one right here.
We have DK Metcalf. Everybody knows the picture where he looks like he ate AJ Brown in the offseason. Versus Melvin Gordon, who, as we talked about last show, I thought he was going to be the best running back in that class purely based on his steps.
Yeah. Now, I will say, and especially with these new pictures, obviously Melvin Gordon has some sweet ceps. DK Metcalf, I think one of the more ripped dudes in the NFL. But if you look at DJ Metcalf's picture, there is something of interest. And this is something that I learned from our old trainer, Steve Spearman, who is also a very large, ripped black man. And he said that little muscle right there on the side of his bicep, I'll add a little circle to the graphic.
I see it.
On the side, supposedly, according to Steve Spearman, professional athletic trainer, he says that is an extra muscle that black people have that white people do not have. There's an extra muscle.
That sounds racist, and it sounds like we're going to have to cancel you.
This is just what he said, and him being a black man, I believe his knowledge over my own.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, I'm going to go no comment on that. But what I will say is that DK Metcalf has a mountainous amount of mass on his sep. And Jake, what I think when you dissect the anatomy of the word bicep, two heads, that is the second head. You got the brachialis and you got the medialis or something of that nature. And then you take a peek at Melvin Gordon, and he's got some really succulent ceps with, symmetrical, veins going down.
Advantage.
Oh, I agree.
When you have parallel, symmetrical veins each arm, I think that's going to give me a couple of extra bonus points toward Melvin Gordon.
Oh, no, Melvin Gordon does have some really sweet ceps. I'll say that. Looking at, and this is, and it sucks because DK Metcalf is just an extraordinarily muscular guy. But Melvin Gordon, new Denver Bronco, he's got some fucking huge ceps. And the what would we say, vascularity on his biceps is unparalleled.
Well, what do you think about this one?
So first off, my vote is Melvin Gordon, because in the Melvin Gordon picture, he's not worried about how good his ceps look. He's worried about toting that rock.
That's a good observation, Bull.
Yeah.
You think DK Metcalf is just up in his rookie premiere at the scouting combine getting pictures taken, and he's like, check out my ceps?
Professional.
DK is literally in check out my ceps pose, and he's showing off an extra muscle Jake was talking about.
Yeah.
Melvin is worried about getting through the hole.
Yeah.
So let's vote here. Austin, what do you think?
I'm going Melvin's.
Jake?
I'm going to have to say Melvin Gordon as well.
Bull?
Melvin Gordon.
Wow. I also think Melvin Gordon. I think DK Metcalf's a spectacular specimen, but if we're just talking about ceps, it's Melvin.
Yeah.
Tough couple rounds here, man.
You want to talk about a tough round?
This isn't tough. This is ridiculous. JJ got screwed on this.
Listen, I'm not the order of information. I play the cards as the cards fall.
So
Yeah.
I mean, in
spoiled it a little
fairness,
here.
it's
but
better
we-
to pit these Titans up against each other than throw
Titan-
these
no,
guys to Bo Scarborough. And just
This
So-
isn't a match.
So this matchup, we have Aaron Donald versus J.J. Watt. And Bull, I think J.J. Watt's Ceps look better than Aaron Donald's in this picture.
God, no. Are you serious? Look at that. Look at the difference. I'm having my.
In this picture, J.J. Watt's Ceps look better.
I do not think so.
How?
I'm
too.
going Aaron Donald, dude.
I'm going Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
It
So
might-
my,
See,
It might be the sweaty factor, but also the veins in Aaron Donald, the
Dude.
sheer mass.
yeah, I guarantee those Ceps by themselves, 100 pounds apiece, dude. Like, my God, he's got tree trunks on his
I
shoulders.
guarantee you he can curl more than I can bench.
Yeah.
Just looking at the corded steel on his fucking arm, dude.
All right.
That's what-
I mean, if it's that unanimous between you guys, Aaron
Yeah.
Donald, you're going through.
Wait, we didn't hear Jake say anything, and I would
Yes.
also like to say I think both these guys would fail a PED test of any respect.
Probably.
Laurent Landry.
so with this one, I wanted to give because Aaron Donald's last picture was a gym flex versus an opponent that was not a gym flex. So I wanted to match these guys up, gym v gym. And here's my thing. Looking at the angle of bend, J.J. Watt's right arm, and left for that matter, are bent more. The more you bend your arm, the more bulbous your bicep looks. As you extend it, it stretches it out.
But
the
we don't
fact
know if
that
Aaron Donald gets bigger.
What? That's science.
The more extended that Aaron Donald's arms are, and he still keeps that mass, that bulbous mass, that means if he was in the exact same pose as J.J. Watt, his arms would be fucking massive.
I
Yeah.
agree with Jake.
The fact that
I
they
follow
both
a lot of
work out-
bodybuilding, and JJ Watt is in like
no, it's gone.
flex pose. Aaron Donald is flexing his chest mostly.
Exactly.
He's not even going for the Cep shot.
Exactly. And his steps still look that sweet and that vascular. That's the important part.
So, yeah, no, I honestly, this is going to be kind of it's whoever Aaron Donald runs up against is probably going to take the L. That's what, if anybody's going to be an alien, here are my three picks for aliens living among us. It's the dude who created The Simpsons, Elon Musk, and Aaron Donald.
Hank
Wow.
Azaria?
It seems like Hunter, his argument was so weak, he left the room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I had to take a business call. But Aaron Donald, you're going through whatever. But before we get to this next contentious matchup, I do have to take a peeps.
That's fair. I'm doing some research in my Gray's Anatomy anatomical informational book.
Well, after some technical difficulties, we're on Nick Bosa versus Larry Ogunjobi.
Yeah.
What do y'all think?
Larry Ogunjobi.
Yeah, I agree.
Ridiculous.
I agree, dude. He's just a meat of a man. So yeah, my research team and I agree that Larry is meat of a man. So I'm gonna pick Larry.
I don't know about that.
What?
What?
Are you smoking salvia?
You know, honey, you've been having a lot of hot takes this podcast.
Somebody say
That's the name of the game, baby. But Austin, what do you think about this?
That baby kind of
I
weird.
mean, I'm trying to scale these biceps into comparison into like evenness because Bosa is like 40 to 60 pounds lighter. But for the sheer size of Ogunjobi, those are some disgusting Ceps, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to go with Larry, dude. Those are menacing.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Those
my vote definitely would have been Nick here, but I'm not gonna go against the grain.
Hunter, I've noticed that you're picking all the white guys. I don't know,
Which problem, dude?
I feel like it's just gonna be me and Austin after both of you.
See,
Austin and I.
Austin.
This is a tough one because the
Fuck, if you
thickness.
guys want to go Larry, we can go Larry.
All right, who do you think you have a better chance of arm wrestling?
Neither.
Larry. I think I have a better chance of arm wrestling Larry. Because I think he'll have a heart attack long before Nick Bosa. So if I can
Bull
just hold
is the
You're gonna arm wrestle him until he has a heart attack. So Larry Ogunjobi is 6'3", 304 pounds. Nick Bosa
6'4", 260. It's 260.
is 6'4", 266.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you take that scale and thickness, because I think their thickness looks similar, but when it's a 300-pound hoss and a 200-pound hoss, there's a little bit more muscle there. There's a little bit more sustenance.
Yeah. And I can only imagine the Browns are saying, hey, you have to be over 300 pounds for
So,
Larry.
Jake, you're going with Larry here?
Of course.
All right. Sorry, Nick, but Larry.
This is also just another case of Nick is flexing his biceps. Larry Ogunjobi's just
running.
No, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely
I mean,
right.
this might as well be a picture of Larry Ogunjobi at Walmart just carrying a gallon of milk.
I was looking forward to a Bosa battle, but Larry, you're going through.
Not going to happen, dog. Sorry. There's a
This
fly
one
in
I
my
think
face.
is a no contest because we have Donnell Hunter versus
That looks to be
not Keanu Neal.
It's not.
Ricardo
Listen,
Allen or
listen,
something?
listen.
It's Ricardo Allen.
Late. Okay.
Ricardo Allen?
It literally says in the description of the picture, there's like text at the bottom. It says, Falcons cornerback Ricardo Allen celebrates in the fourth quarter. Regardless.
Okay, so here's the thing. And,
Okay,
and
so
to play
you
on
don't
to
think Ricardo Allen is the guy behind him actually selling?
No, that is Ricardo. It says Ricardo Allen, number 37 in parentheses.
So
Fair enough.
here's
Everyone knows Keanu Neal's 22, baby.
Here's my. I didn't know because I wasn't paying attention because it was late and I was rushing. 1, 2. If I look up a picture, this is what I did. I typed in Keanu Neal muscles. If I type that in and another dude comes up, he ain't got Sweetest Ceps. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, can we describe to the viewers what we're viewing here? We're looking at
It'll be on the screen.
We're looking at Daniil Hunter, dude.
So
No safety or cornerback besides LaRon Landry has a chance again.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is a no contest. Daniil Hunter's winning.
I will have this image that we are looking up also with a real picture of Keanu Neal. Either way, this was a guarantee.
Yeah,
like
Daniil
no
Hunter.
Hunter. This is
I'm
the
telling
host
you guys,
guy.
A couple of years ago, the Bills were playing the Vikings, and I saw Daniil Hunter and Everson Griffin just like dapping up after a play, and I was like, what are they feeding these guys? Because the Vikings D-line has the sickest biceps in the league.
So, moving on to the next one.
Before we move on.
Yeah.
Do you think that they've remade the Purple People Eaters?
No.
No, they're definitely in the rebuilding process right now.
The Vikings
Now,
suck.
is the song "The One-Eyed, One-Horned, Flying Purple People Eater"? Is that I guess objectifying cannibals? Is that
No, that was written by
is that
Art.
something to get canceled too?
No.
Because I can get by with Christmas songs being canceled,
I
but
think that
Halloween
song-
songs, there's not many we have in the first place.
I think that song is about all of those pictures that Brett Favre sent to ladies.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, of his
But-
weird.
But this next matchup here, I think Ryan Kerrigan is just going to be a casualty here.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we have Ryan Kerrigan versus Khalil Mack.
You have to feed some of the weaklings to Khalil Mack.
And
That's
I
all.
will say, compared to last week's picture, I mean, for Khalil Mack, it's the same picture. Like his Ceps look super sweet, but last week's picture of Nancy Kerrigan was better bicep than the one now. This is a better picture this week, and he still loses.
Let it slide. But
Khalil Mack is just like giving someone like, "Ooh, I'm going this way," ooh, and then like that kind of move. And you know, all I hear in my head is Randy Moss saying, "They called me the freak, man," because I'm looking at this guy's biceps and they're freakish, dude.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
are otherworldly.
as we
Jake,
heard
hey,
a
Nancy
few
Kerrigan.
episodes ago, personal UB story from our friend Simba, Khalil Mack just picking up O linemen and carrying them like 10 yards.
Khalil Mack's gonna win.
Yeah, that was brushed over like it was nothing, but the fact that he had played with Khalil Mack.
Is that what was happening, or did he just go to a practice?
I don't know, but it still was glossed over like
Yeah,
no.
we don't ask the hard-hitting questions. We can definitely improve as
Yeah, our journalistic integrity will be improving. But
Well, what's so
finally-
funny, huh? What's so funny, Bull?
I think Jake said Nancy Kerrigan instead
He
of
did.
Ryan Kerrigan.
I definitely did. It was a joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, clearly his name is not Nancy.
Bull thought it was a
That's
Freudian
Nancy.
slip.
I just made an honest mistake.
So for this last one in the Sweetest Ceps bracket, we have, I think, maybe the toughest one of today. We have Christian McCaffrey versus Tyreek Hill. And this Tyreek Hill picture,
Is recent. This is now.
and I'm just going to say it right here. My vote is Tyreek Hill.
As is mine.
I'm going with Tyreek Hill. His steps are very bulbous. They look like someone took like a oversized ice cream scoop and just put like a big thing of Dutch chocolate right on his arms.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
and I think with Christian McCaffrey, and especially doing the research, the picture right here, I think his massive shoulders and deeply striated shoulders kind of overcast on his biceps. But this
Yeah.
is a really good picture for Tyreek Hill because there's no covering, there's no angles, this is pretty much straight up and down arm, and
Yeah.
his fucking biceps is like an apple, or honestly, in real life, it's probably like a fucking grapefruit. It's just attached to his arm.
his arm literally looks like a snowman. There's just like a ball on top of a ball.
Yeah.
His dick-
Tyreek Hill, he's a small dude.
But
So
it's
Yeah.
so defined, and you gotta think, like, to have the sweetest ceps and the fastest feet in the NFL,
Yeah.
there's a lot ahead of this guy. He definitely has not reached his full potential yet.
Bull, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, you said this is a recent photo of Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
I think he might just be the peak of what humankind can get right now, because this dude
This was
freak.
taken right after he broke his kid's arm.
really.
That's the thing. He broke his kid's arm by hugging him gently. That's how strong he is. He just crushed his own child. He's like, I don't know my own
I'm
strength.
hugging him.
Wouldn't
was
surprise
awesome.
me. Yeah, he probably just gave him a high five. I mean that is
A high five, he would eviscerate his hand. He was worse than you.
So, fellas, are we giving it to Tyreek here? Also, I think Christian McCaffrey might have done steroids last offseason.
I've
Listen,
heard.
There's nothing in the Bible about not doing steroids. So
Didn't say there was. I'm pro steroids. I think there should be a pro steroids football league.
I
Yeah.
was looking into it. Did you know the NFL doesn't test for steroids? They test for they test for everything but HGH. They test for like
they
certain.
test speed.
They don't test for all the like main steroids. So like if you get busted in the NFL, you're just an idiot.
Do they test for bull sharks' testosterone?
No, dude, you can take as much BST as
Dude.
you want.
do
Wow.
they test for meth?
No.
No, they test for Adderall though.
Austin, do you remember what Sean Merriman was on?
I do not remember what Sean Merriman was on. Sean Merriman and Laron Landry were on some fucking crazy stuff.
LeBron James is huge.
One time, Maurice Jones-Drew pancaked Sean Merriman.
That's
I
what's
remember that.
Jake, feel free to pop that clip in for some Jags
Oh.
love.
I mean, Maurice Jones-Drew is just low man wins every play.
Pocket Hercules.
bowling ball.
Have you guys heard him on any of the what he was on? It was ESPN, but now he's an analyst. I love listening to Maurice Jones takes.
They're so bad.
I think
Yeah.
he's an NFL Network guy.
Is he? Is it NFL Network? Yeah, no. What were we just talking about? There was something I was going to bring up. Darn, I don't remember anymore.
Sean
And
Merriman.
Maurice
Blood
Jones-Drew exposed himself on Sports Illustrated, which children could have been reading. So is Maurice Jones-Drew a pedophile? Who knows?
Well, he didn't show his penis, just his tree trunk legs. But
I mean, I'm sure his penis looks just as big.
probably just as thick. But so Tyreek, you're going through, and this has been a long one, so I think this is a good time to cut it. Episode 10 spectacular. It's in the books.
It was great.
Hoping to give you 10 more after this one.
Are we doing the thing?
What?
Are we doing the hot take thing at the end of the show?
Yeah, let's get everybody gives off one hot take at the end of the episode.
Yeah, that's new. I completely forgot about that. I don't even know a hot take.
Unlike most of your guests, I actually watch every podcast.
So, I mean, I'll start by just saying...
No, thank you. We're glad we have a loyal fan.
Just so you guys fucking know, I'm the best fan, unlike all you other posers.
I'm going to do a low-hanging fruit on this one. My hot take is that the Steelers won't finish top 12 offensively this year.
All right. I'll give mine. I think Josh Allen will be a top 12 quarterback this year.
I can see that. In what stat? QBR?
Just overall PFF rating.
My hot take will be that the Cardinals will play in the NFC Championship game.
Dumb.
Ow.
Okay.
Hey, hot. You want it hot?
Well,
I can see it steaming.
Bull, I heard you drop about 3 or 4 subtly throughout the podcast.
Yeah, what's your hot take?
Go ahead, spill it on.
Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl 7-0.
Well, if they can get past the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Here's my hot take, is that the AFC Championship game is going to be between Buffalo and Pittsburgh winning. And then the NFC Championship game is going to be between Detroit and a Jalen Hurts-led Philly team, and Detroit wins. Pittsburgh-Detroit Super Bowl.
Wow.
Well, if that happens, wow. But
Honestly, even put $10 down on those odds, and you'll be a millionaire.
All the factors that go into that, those are big multipliers.
Definitely put like $50 down on those.
That's a silly one, Bull, but hey, that's why we call them hot takes.
Hot take.
All right. Well, that was a good 10th episode spectacular. Bull, thanks for being our guest.
Yeah, sorry for being injured. Let's see that hand one more time.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
that's
what.
Well,
little bit.
Is that blood right there seeping through?
Yeah.
Oh God.
So
Jason Pierre-Paul.
So yeah, funny story about that. They said they kept a couple of the stitches a little loose so that it could continue to drain, so it wouldn't get infected.
Nice.
Oh, pop the top and go Nat Geo for the viewers who.
Yeah, give us one.
You want me to rip it right off real quick?
Give them a little
Sure.
BFF premium.
I think they're talking about your shirt.
This.
Give them a peek of our fans only.
Yeah,
Bull.
we can just end right on a clip of you taking your shirt off.
That's right.
God.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, he's like the fat Terry Crews.
Wow. Well,
show us that hospital schmutz.
that's the probably the best end we ever had to a show right there.
Yeah. Also, Huffy, thanks for being the double special guest.
No problem. I don't mind doing some backup support. Some research.
Bull, can you grab Huffy and do that thing you used to do to kids with your sweaty boobs?
Huff, can you come here? I'm kind of disabled. I'm gonna need your help.
Huffy said you said you'd help him out if he needs anything. He needs something right now.
The nice thing about this is, like, let's say I have no pockets, right? I can just, and now I can hold my. Look at that. Ta-da! And if I ever need it, I just pop it out. There it is.
Gross. Okay, that's it. Episode 10 in the books. We're not doing that again. See you later.